Marjorie Taylor Greene to Lauren Boebert. What do they have in common? They both supported the release of the Epstein files. They both signed the discharge petition. Now with Lauren Boebert, you'll also recall that before that discharge petition ripened, what did Donald Trump do? He summoned Lauren Boebert to the Oval Office, where he surrounded her with Pam Bondi, Kash Patel, J.D. Vance, and others, and they started screaming at her, "How dare you sign this? We're going to screw you over if you dare allow this discharge petition to ripen. Take your name off Boebert right now, or else." The same way they were harassing and intimidating the other Republican women who signed on, like Marjorie Taylor Greene, and from what we're hearing as well, Nancy Mace was getting it behind the scenes as well. And she's put out statements saying that she's thinking about resigning. Lauren Boebert actually held her ground. She kept her name on the discharge petition, which was something that we should all applaud, not her overall conduct. So what is Donald Trump doing against her? Now, Trump's retaliating against her and also against the governor as well, because the governor refuses to pardon a January 6th insurrectionist named Tina Peters. But here's what Donald Trump's doing. He's saying, I'm going to screw over the people from Colorado and make them drink a water that is dangerous and toxic and could seriously harm them. And I'm going to make sure your water bills in Colorado go up. Screw you, Colorado, is what Donald Trump says. So Trump used his first veto to block a bill that would bring clean drinking water to rural Colorado, a bill sponsored by Lauren Boebert and passed unanimously by both the House and the Senate. This is retaliation for Boebert supporting the release of the Epstein files and Colorado refusing to free a convicted felon currently in state prison for election tampering. Yet again, Donald Trump is engaged in criminal behavior, impeachable behavior, treasonous behavior. He wants to kill the people of Colorado. Now, let me tell you about this act that Lauren Boebert introduced and that Donald Trump just vetoed. Here's how she described it. Today, I introduced the Finish the AVC Act to complete the Arkansas Valley Conduit Project. Southeast Coloradans have been waiting for decades for the completion of the Arkansas Valley Conduit. The Finish the AVC Act will help local governments finally finish this major project. Rural families and businesses need access to clean, sustainable water they can depend on every day. It's time we get the AVC done for Colorado, and I look forward to working with Senator Bennett and another senator there to get this bill through both chambers of Congress. And she did succeed in getting it through, but Donald Trump vetoed it. Now, here's what Lauren Boebert just put out this message. So Trump decided to veto a completely
Lauren Boebert just went off on Donald Trump as she becomes the latest Republican to turn on him. Now tonight, Donald Trump vetoed his first bill of his second term. It was a bill that would have provided funding for a drinking water project in Lauren Boebert's district, and it passed both the House and the Senate unanimously. Well, Lauren Boebert did not take this easy as she went off on Donald Trump, saying, quote, President Trump decided to veto a completely non-controversial bipartisan bill that passed both the House and Senate. Why? Because nothing says America first like denying clean drinking water to 50,000 people that voted for him. I must have missed the rally where he stood in Colorado and promised to derail critical water infrastructure projects. And she goes on, and it is very scathing. She holds nothing back. The truth is, Donald Trump vetoed this bill because of Tina Peters, because Colorado won't turn him over to him and free her as he wants. He's holding Americans hostage for his own vendetta. This is exactly what is happening, though, as Republicans are turning on him, and they're saying
President Trump just used his first veto of his current term to kill a funding project for drinking water in Colorado. The bill passed Congress with unanimous bipartisan support. This veto comes as Trump has promised retaliation against Colorado for keeping his ally Tina Peters in prison for her scheme to tamper with voting systems. Trump's recently denied disaster funding to Colorado and is breaking up the NCAR Science Lab in Boulder. This pipeline project is in the district of Republican Congresswoman Lauren Boebert, who recently stood up to Trump to force the release of the government files on the infamous pedophile Jeffrey Epstein. Trump is now killing the bill to finish the Arkansas Valley Conduit, a decades-long project to bring safe drinking water to 39 communities on the eastern plains between Pueblo and Lamar. The groundwater there is high in salt, and wells sometimes unleash radioactivity into the water supply. This project was first approved by Congress in 1962. In recent years, the cost estimate nearly doubled. Trump's veto message called it a taxpayer handout, suggested it should be paid for locally. Colorado's Democratic senators have chipped away at the funding gap on this project for more than a decade, and Republican Congresswoman Boebert sponsored the House version of the bill to get it across the finish line. She told me tonight she hopes that this veto is not political retribution.
It does make you wonder, and I hope that's not the case. I've been told by the White House this is not retribution, but when it's the first of two bills that have been vetoed in this administration in just the first year of this administration, it kind of makes you want to step back and say, well, what's really going on here? But regardless, I was elected to serve Colorado's 4th district. This project stretches beyond the 4th district to constituents that I have served in the past and will continue to serve. And I will ensure that they get this access that they so desperately are needing.
The Senate and the House sent this bill to President Trump by voice vote, which suggests there could be wide margins to overturn the president's veto, but only if Republican leaders in the House and Senate will allow an
veto of his second term, vetoing a bill that would provide clean drinking water to rural Colorado communities. Now, the reason why he is vetoing this may be a lot more sinister than he is saying publicly. This project was located, according to 9 News Local, in Lauren Boebert's district in Colorado. She tonight is seemingly suggesting that this veto could have happened because she voted to release the Epstein files. In addition, Local 9 is suggesting that Trump vetoed this because Colorado wouldn't release Tina Peters, the county clerk that tried to overturn election results on his behalf. This is very serious. This project would have provided clean drinking water to 39 communities. It passed unanimously in the House and the Senate. Veto-proof majorities. They can go and override this veto if they want to. It would have provided clean drinking water to communities on the eastern plains between Pueblo and Lamar. Tonight,
I have some of the most massive fucking news for you. Brace yourselves. This one is shocking. So our president just issued the first veto of his second term. What did he veto? I shit you not. He is denying clean water for the people of Colorado. This bill passed unanimously in the House and in the Senate. This is a non-controversial bipartisan bill that would provide the citizens of certain districts in Colorado clean drinking water. And that is the first thing that our president has vetoed in his second term. But it's way more sinister than that. It's almost as crazy as PPS-115, which I'll talk about in a minute. It's in Lauren Boebert's district. Okay, for those of you that don't know, Lauren Boebert is a congresswoman from Colorado, and she's MAGA. However, she was one of the 4 Republicans who signed the Epstein discharge petition. And this could be our president's way of getting back at Lauren Boebert. Obviously, we know he's furious about the Epstein files, but is he really as sinister to go as far as vetoing clean water for citizens of Colorado just to get back at Lauren? You tell me in the comments, right? And I'll get back to every comment. Now, as I said, this is actually fucking crazy in a bad way, but PPS-115 is crazy in a good way. The Purple Populist Show coming out on Patreon on January 15th. Mark your calendars, the amount of work I've been putting in. Shit you not, 12, 14-hour days just to deliver amazing long-form show content from me to you with the news. My name is Hunter Howell. I'm sitting...
So Lauren Boebert is slamming Trump and suggesting he vetoed a clean water project in her district as revenge for her vote to release the Epstein files. And this veto certainly has revenge written all over it. Trump just used his first veto of his term to block a major drinking water project in Colorado. Boebert, who sponsored the bill, may be right that this is retaliation for her breaking with Trump on the Epstein files. It may also be revenge against Colorado for refusing to release a MAGA convict and Trump ally who's in state prison currently for trying to tamper with voting machines after the 2020 election. The veto kills funding for the Arkansas Valley Conduit, a decades-long project designed to bring safe drinking water to 30 39 communities on Colorado's eastern plains. The bill passed unanimously in both the House and the Senate. Republicans and Democrats all supported it. In a new statement, Boebert says, President Trump decided to veto a completely non-controversial, bipartisan bill that passed both the House and the Senate unanimously. Why? Because nothing says America first like denying clean drinking water to 50,000 people in southeast Colorado, many of whom enthusiastically voted for him in all three elections. I must have missed the rally where he stood in Colorado and promised to personally derail critical water infrastructure projects. My bad. I thought the campaign was about lowering costs and cutting red tape. But hey, if this administration wants to make its legacy blocking projects that deliver water to rural Americans, that's on them. She added, quote, and I sincerely hope this veto has nothing to do with political retaliation for calling out corruption and demanding accountability. Americans deserve leadership that puts people over politics. This also comes after Trump publicly promised retaliation against Colorado for keeping his MAGA ally Tina Peters in prison. Peters was convicted on state charges for a scheme to tamper with the voting systems while searching for supposed 2020 election fraud. Trump even issued a fake pardon for Peters recently, despite the fact that he cannot pardon state charges, and then he raged at state officials for not releasing her. Now he's blocking clean water projects in the state as retribution. The communities affected rely on groundwater that's high in salt and in some cases contaminated with radioactivity. Congress could override the veto. The bill passed unanimously, so it would only require a 2/3.
Colorado's 4th Congressional District overwhelmingly voted for Donald Trump. It is the reddest district in the state, and it's represented by MAGA loyalist Lauren Boebert. That same district is now watching the president use the first veto of his second term to block a non-controversial bill that would give tens of thousands of rural residents clean drinking water, and it's likely because of political retaliation. Watch.
I think it's very unfortunate that President Trump chose a bill that provides clean water to 50,000 Southeast Coloradans to veto.
But the president threatened punishment for Colorado if it wouldn't release convicted election clerk Tina Peters. And Boebert just recently stood up to the Trump administration to force the release of the Jeffrey Epstein files.
The president never promised that there would be retribution for me taking a stand and holding corrupt individuals accountable on the Epstein list.
The president's veto message says he vetoed the water project because of cost. Boebert questions if it's really political retribution.
It kind of makes you want to step back and say, well, what's really going on here?
And right now it's unclear if this is retaliation for Boebert backing the release of the Epstein files or if it's about Tina Peters, who was convicted for election data breach tied to the efforts to interfere with the 2020 election. Trump pardoned her federal charges, but she remains in prison on state charges. Either way, one thing is clear. When you vote for someone who...
Residents in southeast Colorado are going to continue to go without clean drinking water after Donald Trump vetoed the first bill of this administration, the Finish the Arkansas Valley Conduit Act, which would have finished a water pipeline project to provide clean drinking water to 50,000 plus individuals in southeast Colorado. Now, this is Lauren Boebert's district, and she says it appears, she hopes she's wrong, but it appears to be political retaliation after she signed the discharge petition to get the Epstein files released and then voted in favor of it. Other individuals in the state say it appears to be political retribution against the state for refusing to release Tina Peters to federal custody, where Donald Trump can issue a pardon for her. Either way, Donald Trump calls this clean drinking water project a frivolous project. And now it's true. The people there have drinking water. They get it from ground wells right now. But the problem is those ground wells become contaminated with radioactive material, leading to cancer in the residents in this corner of Colorado. It's naturally occurring radioactive material, and well, it's not great for you if you're unaware. Radioactive material does cause cancer. So this pipeline has been in the works since the 1960s, as the water there does not meet federal safety standards. And it's taken them years to buy the land, to work the right-of-ways, and to design the whole project, including build the reservoirs along the way. And now they just need to finish the pipeline. And Donald Trump says you're not getting federal funding, which without the pipeline cannot be finished. And